Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus one more time, and I'm here on this Monday morning when everybody else probably is beginning to do what we consider as routine. This is involved in those things that are necessary that keeps life flowing and allow the people to keep on existing from day to day, week to week, and all through eternity. You know how that goes. And at the same time, the pains, the sufferings, they too exist, and it is my duty, it is my responsibility to try to find some way to awake that deadness that is dormant in people, to allow them to awake to the possibilities that they are so unaware of, and at the same time, how to make those things become true. So, ladies and gentlemen, here I am again today. I guess you can call this routine as well. But what I would like to focus on is the fact that America is burning. Have you thought about that? How many of you spend a little bit of time thinking about America is burning? Well, the truth of the matter is that there is so much happening in America during this year 20 that it's difficult to find any one particular thing to focus on. So that usually is determined by its immediate impact. If you're in California or places where the fires are burning, I'm sure it's number one on your scale of importance. If you're someplace where social justice rallies and so forth are taking place, then that is your number one concern. Where people of color are being persecuted, that's your number one concern. So you put it all together and you say hell is taking place, but America is burning. And I reference that because there was a time in history, at least is recorded by a book called the Bible, that says that there was people going astray, misdirected, going any kind of way, every man, every woman doing their own thing without any particular guidance. A guidance, it seems like the people wake up when the sun shines. The sun eliminates the darkness. It brings in the day, and people know it's time to make a change. They get up out of the bed and they arise. Why? Because the sun is shining. The sun is their guide to let them know it's time to get up. And so it seems that people need the same kind of guide in their living, because having the ability to do what they desire, when they desire, and just do it without any particular direction, we have nothing but chaos. And at a time when everybody wants peace, everybody wants prosperity. In fact, everybody wants the same thing. Well, that was what was happening then. And they say a flood came. That was water, wiped them out. And they said the next time would be fire. And so I'm referencing that because now it seems, according to the recordings, that like never before, the fires are consuming so much of the American populace. And I don't know about the rest of the world, but here it's doing its thing. And it is something that perhaps we should consider, especially at a time when it's not just fires, it's hurricanes and floods and all kinds of strange things happening at wintertime. I mean, winter is something else. But not only that, these are indications of natural phenomena, but there are also other kinds. When we think in America, we got 621 super wealthy people that got more wealth than the rest of 230 million Americans put together. You got 11,621 people got more money than 200. And I say that because whether we can live on this planet and have the kind of life we want or not is determined by the system that we've associated ourselves with, which is capitalism, which is money. You got money, you can do things. You don't have money, you can't do things. Bluntly put, that's right to the money, telling it just like it is. Well, When I speak to you about the kinds of things that are available to us, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to recognize some things that you have not been given information or have had lifted up before you. And that is this. Wherever you live, whatever area geographically that you live, there is certain benefits, certain rewards, certain gifts that are invested within those regions. Some in the earth, some above the earth, some on the earth. Some are visible and others are invisible. And yet they are there to serve the needs and wants and desires of humanity. Because humanity has an imagination that draws them to these particulars. And at the same time, they have the gifts which would enable them to engage themselves in the creative process so that those things that they can imagine can be brought forth. And they are possible by a God that you can't see. It is invisible. An invisible God that is responsible for every individual, a child of God who now, my friends, are not just running wild doing their own thing, but they are being guided by the Spirit that is their creator, their source, which is guiding them into life, the essence of life being used. And so this is what I'm trying to see if I can get people to see, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to understand that all of this crime and all of this violence, it's just not just happenstance. We got thousands and thousands of young men who are in jail for dealing in drugs, for selling weed or crack or whatever, or either using it. We got people doing all kinds of things. You got the existence of the mob. You got hustlers. People are trying to just survive from day to day. These institutions exist because of the failures of the systems that we have instituted that is not serving the people well. And this is the product of people doing what man thinks. You know, in America, we got the white man that runs everything. I'm sure in Africa, in the real roots of Africa, you got black people. In China, you got Chinese. Russia, I don't know what you got, but everywhere you got people trying to run things. And they are screwing it up. They only continue to do it because we are ignorant and we allow them to do it. And they are not thinking about helping us. All that stuff about helping us is a blatant lie. And the religiosity of it, ladies and gentlemen, is that all of this stuff exists in the middle of all of the religions on earth. None of them are able to affect the society in such a way that these things change. So what I'm trying to tell you to do, you're going to have to wake up, realize that there's one master above you, and that's God. And if you want to be walking righteously on earth, make sure you love everybody, don't take no crap off nobody, and stand up for what's right. And I guarantee you, you can't lose when you try stuff like that. I just wanted to say that to you, ladies and gentlemen, because it's so important that we make a difference in the lives that we're having today. The answer today is not with Donald Trump and any of that crap he's talking. The answer is not with Joe Biden and any of that crap that they're talking. And the truth of the matter is not in listening to that stuff that you've been paying your tithes and offering to. You got to start listening to the Spirit of God talking to you, guiding you, not letting somebody else tell you about what God is saying. God got to talk to you. If God can't talk to you, he ain't God. Believe that. If God is God, he can definitely talk to you. Let me say it one more time. If God is God, he can definitely talk to you. Now, let me see. Is there anything else I need to say here? Oh, and keep this in mind. The whole purpose of it is this. As in heaven, so on earth. That's the way it was designed. As in heaven, so on earth. So what you can imagine about heaven, that's the way it's supposed to be on earth. And if it's not, it's because evil is running the show. And if you got some love in your heart and some God in your heart, it is your duty, your responsibility to wake up everybody, and let the world see all the ugliness and show them how beautiful it can be, and then walk according to the dictates of that, and you got it beat. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. And I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time. And until next time, I want to say goodbye.